University, powered by RP Sanjeev Goenka Group, Century Ply and JK Tires.
Good evening and welcome. The story of Shrikant Tyagi, the missing self-styled BJP politician who the party disowns, has grabbed public attention for the last couple of days, and why not? As of this minute, Tyagi is missing. His illegal construction in a housing complex in Noida has been bulldozed and his hired goons arrested, and they're all in lockup. Now we learn, cornered, he's going to surrender. Suddenly, the people who hate Yogi and Yogi's bulldozer are celebrating Yogi. They're celebrating the way the bulldozer has acted against Tyagi, and why not? Yogi has proved that his bulldozer will run over anyone who bulldozes the law. But viewers, in the way in which the residents of a housing society in Noida have fought Tyagi, have fought this political gangster, rallied together and demanded justice is a bigger message. And that message is this: that citizens are tired, fed up of political gangsters. Aren't you? Aren't you tired? Aren't you tired of the gangsters who put party flags and party symbols on their cars and then drive around like they own the country? Fact is, viewers, this hasn't changed. Congress time or BJP time, this hasn't changed. Just that the party these goons claim to represent changes depending on who is in power. Just imagine, viewers, this political gangster Tyagi sent other professional gangsters to threaten the residents who questioned him. Now, most remarkably, the residents, instead of giving in, instead of getting scared, have come together and fought back. And they have won, they continue to win, and they will win on behalf of all Indians. They will send a message to politicians that the citizen in this country will not be bullied anymore. And so I think Yogi has done a great job. His bulldozer is supporting the citizens. His bulldozer is taking on the gangsters, and this has shown that this is the only approach which works with these gangsters, viewers. But have all the bullies and all the gangsters, all the political gangsters in this country got the message? Or will the other thousands of wannabe Shrikant Tyagis have to be locked up before political gangsters in this country get the clear message that the citizen has been quiet so far, but the citizen is never weak, and the citizen will fight back, and will fight back hard, and will fight back with all he's got and all she's got if pushed too far, ladies and gentlemen. That's debate number 2 this evening. We need to see the end of political gangsterism in this country. That's debate number 2 this evening, viewers. And debate number 1 tonight, Kejriwal's angry about those who are questioning his freebies. But Mr. Kejriwal, can we afford the freebie culture? That's debate number 1. And it's a packed show. I come to you with 4 debates tonight. Debate number 3 this evening. Kapil Sibal says he has no hope in the Supreme Court. Mr. Sibal, speak for yourself. And if you really think so, then please don't embarrass the country by continuing to practice as a lawyer in the Supreme Court, which you have no hope in. Ladies and gentlemen, debate number 4 tonight. If Nitish splits from the BJP and goes with Lalu, what happens? What happens to his old tirade about corruption and the corruption of the RJD? Nitish Kumar, you're on the wrong track. And here are the headlines this Monday evening on the debate tonight. Top sources are telling Republic that the Bihar government could be all set to fall with Nitish Kumar breaking away from the BJP before the end of the week. As Nitish Kumar gets ready to ally with the RJD and the Congress all over again, top sources tell us Tejasvi wants to be Deputy Chief Minister.
अपने दोस्तों के बैंकों के कर्जे माफ करना देश के साथ गद्दारी घोषित किया जाए। ऐसे लोगों को गिरफ्तार करके सख्त से सख्त सजा मिलनी चाहिए।
Weeks after the Prime Minister slams the subsidy culture, Kejriwal says those questioning freebie schemes are traitors. Political goon assaults, abuses and absconds. The hunt continues for political gangster Shrikant Tyagi. Can nobody find him?
और 50 साल के बाद मुझे ऐसा लगता है कि मुझे इस संस्था से कोई उम्मीद।
You said in a function about that is no hope left in the institution. Kapil sir, one question.
And Kapil Sibal, who loses one important case after another all the time in the Supreme Court, now says in frustration that he has no faith in the highest court of the country. And 3 goals in badminton, 1 gold in table tennis, and a historic silver in hockey. Gold rush on the final day of the Commonwealth Games. And now Arvind Kejriwal has gone on and on about freebies. He says anyone who questions subsidies and freebies is a traitor. But is there anything truly free about the freebies? And what about the responsibility of political parties like his? Let's debate, ladies and gentlemen. Let's debate.
Delhi Chief Minister Arvind Kejriwal has now triggered a big political fight over freebies with this comment.
अपने दोस्तों के बैंकों के कर्जे माफ करना देश के साथ गद्दारी घोषित किया जाए। ऐसे लोगों को गिरफ्तार करके सख्त से सख्त सजा मिलनी चाहिए।
जमीन पर तो है जीरो, जमीन पर तो है जीरो, लेकिन रेवड़ियां बांटकर बनना चाहते हैं हीरो।
His defense of freebies comes just a week after the Prime Minister called out the culture of subsidies.
बिजली बनाने से लेकर घर घर पहुंचाने तक का जिम्मा जिनका है, उनका लगभग 2.5 लाख करोड़ रुपए फंसा हुआ है। ऐसी स्थिति में इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर पर, भविष्य की जरूरतों पर निवेश हो पाएगा कि नहीं हो पाएगा?
It comes after the Supreme Court clearly observed there is a need to find a solution to stop political parties from giving freebies during elections. Fact is, unmitigated freebies are not a relief. They can spike inflation, increase fiscal burden, and trouble the Aam Aadmi. So tonight, it's the ultimate face-off on freebies. Let's debate.
Shehzad Poonawalla, BJP, General Anil Verma, head of the ADR, Akshay Marathe, spokesperson AAP, and Ghanshyam Tiwari, spokesperson Samajwadi Party. Fact is, Mr. Marathe, that it's all right for you to call people who don't support the freebies as traitors, but the fact is you can't afford the freebies yourself. You don't have the money. You can't afford it. You're going to drive every state that you run bankrupt.
Arnab, first of all, it's important to clarify that the Aam Aadmi Party has been running a surplus budget in Delhi for the last 8 years, despite giving free electricity, free water, free education, and free healthcare. So we have actually showed the country that it is possible to run a financially prudent and healthy model of governance.
What is the debt of Delhi? What is the debt of Delhi?
Arnab, in the last 8 years, Aam Aadmi Party
what is the debt? I'm just asking you, what is the debt? No, I'm challenging the number. Akshay, what is the debt of Delhi? Is it true that when you presented the Rozgar budget in April 2022, the state is in 40,697 crore debt, which is 5.18% of your gross state domestic product?
Arnab, can I finish my point?
No, I'm asking you, am I right or am I wrong? You can say, Arnab, you're right.
I'm saying...
You can say, Arnab, you're right, or you can say, Arnab, you're completely wrong.
Arnab, you're right, but it's important to know that the debt was way higher before the Aam Aadmi Party was in power. In the Congress government, the debt was much higher than it is now.
So you're competing against the Congress record. You admit you can't afford the freebies.
Against the Congress.
You admit you can't afford the freebies.
And the BJP.
Can you afford the freebies?
Competing against.
Can you afford the freebies? Can you afford the freebies?
Let me finish my point. Yes, we can afford the freebie.
You can afford the freebie.
If we can give 10 lakh crore rupees worth of loans to these big corporate houses by Mr. Modi and his BJP government, then yes, we can give freebies. If you are able to give out lakhs of crores of public money, my and your taxpayer money to these big corporations run by the friends of the BJP, then yes, we can give freebies to the people of this country.
So your politics is freebie politics?
It is not freebie politics. It is the politics of development. Arnab, around the world today, look at South Africa and Ireland. They provide free
look at Venezuela, look at Sri Lanka.
all of Europe and America provide unemployment allowances to workers out of jobs.
So why you want a
Very
Venezuela
rich
model
country-
adopted here? Okay,
very rich
Shehzad
country-
Poonawalla is on the debate. He's strongly
very
justifying
rich-
freebies. Shehzad Poonawalla, he says he can afford it.
Arnab.
He says he can afford it. He
Arnab.
says you give freebies to your corporate friends. You give freebies to your corporate friends. He says I want to give freebies to the citizen. That's the positioning.
Arnab, the only thing free in Delhi is pollution, corruption, nasha, Tushtikaran and his fact-free allegations. Let me tell you why. Let's ask Akshay Marathe one question at a time. He says we are giving free shiksha. In the last 8 years, Arnab, instead of opening the 500 schools they promised in the manifesto, they've shut 31 schools. 700 to 800 schools have no principal. And by the way, 40% of the 9th standard children had to drop out. They say free hospital. Can he name one new school or one new hospital they've built? In fact, Arvind Kejriwal said 6 months ago, I will build 7 new hospitals. The RTI shows not a single new hospital. Arnab, he says, I'll give employment. Forget giving 10 lakh jobs, which Arvind Kejriwal claims. This is the RTI which shows 3246 jobs have been created by him. So I want to begin just by asking Mr. Marathe, my good friend, that please name 5 new schools. Forget 500. 5 new schools that you started. You started 850 thekas in every mohalla. But if you can name 5 new schools by the end of Arnab's show that you have built, or 3 new hospitals you built, I will apologize to you. Then you tell us where this free is being given. He said that they will give free Sawari. You know, Arnab, we had 11,000. He had said he will get 11,000 DTC buses. DTC, not cluster
Let me
buses.
answer your question.
Today, the number of buses is less than 4,000 DTC buses. If he has got the DTC buses, then he will give free Sawari to women. He said he will give free water. Arnab, most
Let
of the
me answer your
colonies today
question.
still
No,
have
let
to
me
rely
finish.
on the
Arnab, you have
tanker
given-
mafia. Where is
you
the
gave
free
me
water?
hardly 1
Na
minute.
free
Now
water hai,
let me
na
respond to
free
Shehzad.
electricity hai. Electricity, he said, I'll give free
Respond to
electricity. 20,000 crores have been paid to the same power companies. Same power
Respond,
companies.
let
In
me
fact, they've
respond.
increased the cost
Arnab,
by
you have
4%.
given me
The
such
PPA
little
cost
time
has
and you are
been
allowing
4%.
Shehzad to go-
Mr.
you know,
Marathe.
My
Mr. Marathe,
only
you don't
take
need
on
to
this
interrupt.
is, my only
Mr.
take on
Marathe,
this
you
is,
don't
you
need
run
to
your
interrupt.
1 minute.
I'm finishing my statement.
Akshay, you're
Mr.
right to
Marathe,
respond.
Mr. Marathe,
You're right to respond
Mr.
out here.
Marathe.
But point being here, Ghanshyam, you got to be reasonable. I want to get in Ghanshyam. I want to get in General Verma. My only point is, you really like freebies, you want freebies, you want to give freebies, you believe in freebies, whatever you call them. You can call it, extended subsidies, but then you got to pay for them yourself. You can't ask someone else to pay for your party. That's my limited point. Do you have the money?
Arnab,
Can you afford? No.
Arnab,
Can
let
you
me
afford the
quickly
money?
make a
You
point.
can't even pay your electricity
Let me quickly
bills.
make a point.
No, my point is you can't even
Arnab-
pay your electricity bills.
Arnab, let
Good
me
evening,
make my
Arnab.
simple point.
Good
Delhi
evening,
happens
Arnab,
to
to
be
you.
the only state in India that has not had a single rupee left over to pay the national power generation companies. Every other
I
state,
put this
be it a
question to the
BJP
viewers
state or a
tonight.
Congress state,
No,
Aam Aadmi Party government in Delhi is the only state that does not.
Okay, so here's a question of a model. Then there's a primary disagreement, Ghanshyam, on the kind of model of running government. One model of running government will constantly say that, you know what, I think that the corporates get some subsidies and you will use that, everyone on, will use that to justify a freebie of every single kind. The other way of running a government is to say that, listen, a government's got to pay for itself, otherwise we're all going to go bankrupt. And if we go bankrupt, we'll go the Sri Lanka way. There's got to be some sense of responsibility. If there's competition over freebies, I personally think this has to stop. The question is who's going to pull the plug? Yes.
Good evening, Arnab.
The
Good evening,
loan
Arnab, to
waivers-
you.
Let's get
Fellow
Ghanshyam in. Let's get
co-panelists.
Ghanshyam in. Let's get Ghanshyam in.
Fellow co-panelists as well as the
The loan
viewers.
waivers must stop.
When-
The loan waivers to
when-
BJP's friends must stop. Are you agreeing with that?
When hypocrisy becomes the national dialogue,
one record straight on this.
This one.
Arnab, because he said this
hypocrisy
again,
becomes the
let me
national
set the
dialogue,
record
can I
straight.
please come in?
Let him complete.
This is
Shehzad,
not a
let him
debate
complete.
between
Let
Akshay
him complete.
Marathe and Shehzad Poonawalla. Let
Okay.
others speak. You have
Sure,
had your
sure.
time. When hypocrisy becomes the national dialogue, and the freebies that are being given by the national government, 22 crore youth applied for jobs, 7 lakh got it. The parliament was told nearly 10 lakh crores of bank loans were waived off, and we still don't know who these defaulters are. This government will not tell us. The government who said 15 lakh rupees will be given to every account. Kala dhan 100 दिन में आ जाएगा, 2 crore रोजगार दिए जाएंगे. When it comes to promises as freebies, no one can beat Mr. Modi. From अच्छे दिन आएंगे, 40 रुपए में पेट्रोल होगा, 40 रुपए का डॉलर होगा, 15 लाख दिए जाएंगे, 2 करोड़ रोजगार होंगे, to सबका साथ सबका विकास. What did we get as freebie? Unemployment is their freebie. everyday Hindu-Muslim debates to create communal disharmony is their freebie. The gali galauj of Bharatiya Janata Party in as visible in their star leader Shrikant Tyagi is a freebie. And the fake news that they circulate every day is a freebie. Prime Minister has no credibility to speak about the freebie culture. He has not given anything to the poor, but they see the poor as a burden on the country. That is the result. That is the reason they will not. Their member of parliament in the parliament will say, हमने 80 करोड़ लोगों को फ्री फंड में खाना दिया, जैसे अपनी जेब से दिया था. In today's India, अगर आप अपनी मेहनत की कमाई से निवाला भी खाते हैं तो प्रधानमंत्री जी को थैंक यू बोलिए, भारतीय जनता पार्टी को टैक्स दीजिए, उनके गुंडों की गाली सहिए और उसके बाद टीवी पर उनकी ये बड़ी बड़ी बातें सुनिए कि रेवड़ी नहीं बांटी जानी चाहिए, हम सबको आत्मनिर्भर कर देंगे. देश में भारतीय जनता पार्टी इकलौती पार्टी है, हर 2 साल में इनकी आय डबल होती है, हर जिले में इनके बड़े बड़े आलीशान 5 सितारा होटल जैसे कार्यालय हैं. इसके बावजूद ये बड़ी बड़ी बातें करते हैं जो सिर्फ इनइक्वालिटी बढ़ा रही है, जो सिर्फ इनके चुनिंदा पूंजीपतियों को कभी दुनिया का सबसे अमीर आदमी बनाने की कोशिश में लगा हुआ है, कभी उनकी आय वेल्थ कई गुना बढ़ जाती है. मुझे लगता है कि ये डिबेट अगर फैक्ट्स पे नहीं की जाए, केवल भाषणों पे की जाए तो टाइम पास होगा, लेकिन असलियत सामने नहीं आएगी.
Okay, Ghanshyam.
Can I quickly come in?
No. I'll get everyone in. Let me get General Anil Verma also, and then I'll open up the debate. General Verma, is this affordable? Is this affordable?
Arnab, leave aside what the political parties are saying. They will always keep blaming one another. My point is that as of now, as per the PIL of Mr. Ashwini Upadhyay, there is a 17 lakh crore debt of the states. And similarly, at the central government level also, we are all aware, 7% fiscal deficit and a huge amount of, debts are there. So we cannot afford it. That is quite clear. My point is that there are so many schemes which are already existing, not only from the present government's tenure, but even from the previous governments. I was just Googling and seeing, as of 2022, there are 72 schemes, social schemes, which the government is currently running. We have for employment, for housing, for women, for health, for education. We have Manrega, we have PDS, and so many other things are there. So the government is, as it is, using the taxpayer money in a planned manner to cater for the poor people. And that is the job of the government, to look after the underprivileged who are below the poverty line. So nobody is denying the fact that they have to be looked after. But when you promise these freebies and it is done across the board, then even the rich and the middle class want it.
General Verma, let's move very fast. Akshay, let's remain very focused. You and Ghanshyam claim that the government has cleared all the loans of all the corporates. I'll come into whether that is factual or a sweeping claim without factual basis later. But let me just ask you, Mr. Marathe, I'm sure that you're running 2 states now, okay? What is the total outstanding debt of Punjab? And can you afford to give free electricity? See, my information is, Mr. Marathe, and I'm telling you, you want to run the country, right? You want to come to power. You have said that the Aam Aadmi Party is the only party that can run India. Can you run Punjab? The total outstanding debt of Punjab has gone up by 44% to 2.63 lakh crore. That is 45%. No, 1 minute, Mr. Marathe. People need to know the facts. Ghanshyam wants a factual debate. I'm putting the facts. 46% of the state's gross domestic product. Your debt will grow to 2.85 lakh crores. Your government has come to power. You've already taken out 8,000 crore with the promise of improving the revenue collection. Your free electricity alone will cost the state exchequer 1,800 crore. Now kindly tell me, tell everyone tonight, since you want to run India, how will you get this money? Where will you get this money? Yeah, where will you get the money?
No, you have asked your question. Give me a clear 2 minutes and I'll answer your question point by point. Point number 1. The 2.63 lakh crore rupees that Punjab has as debt today was run out by
but you have it
and the BJP.
No, but you have it, right?
Government that has run
but you admit you have it. You can't. You can't say it's old. The debt is on the state. The debt is on the state.
It is not.
The debt is on the state. The debt is on the state. The debt is with you. There is nothing called a Congress debt and an AAP debt. It is a Punjab
Not
debt.
the debt to the state. It
The debt is
Yes,
of the state.
We have
But the debt is of the state.
Just 4 months ago.
No, but
Arnab,
the
now
debt
let
is
me
of the
finish my
state.
point.
No.
Arnab,
But you have the
you
debt.
spoken-
You owe
Arnab,
the
you have
loan. No,
spoken a lot. Now
Akshay,
let me
Akshay,
let me
listen.
finish my
Akshay,
point.
Akshay, one
Arnab,
point.
let
One
me finish
point.
my point.
Akshay,
Why won't you
Akshay,
let me
listen
finish
here.
my point?
Akshay,
Arnab,
listen.
you have said a lot of words
Akshay,
already.
I'm
All
pointing
this
out.
shows
Akshay,
your-
pointing out one fact to you, and you answer after that. See, Akshay, listen. Under your government, the Delhi government's debt increased by nearly 7% in the 4-year period. Your outstanding debt is 40,697 crore by the end of 2021. Okay? Now you add to that the 2.85 lakh crore debt that is there in Punjab. So we are talking about an accumulated debt of anywhere between 3 and 3.5 lakh crores between the two states which you run. And you continue to give free this and free that. My point is, you know how to spend the money. Can you kindly tell us where you're going to get the money?
If you let me talk, I'll tell you. Are you willing to let me talk?
No, but I want to know where you'll get the money.
Let me talk now. Let me finish my point and you'll hear my answers and maybe you will understand them. But let me talk at least, right? So number one, it's important to acknowledge that this debt was run off by the BJP and Congress governments. Number one. Now, number two, in the last 1 quarter, in the last 3 months that we have run the government, we have actually recovered 5,000 crore rupees of additional revenue that we have used to pay off the debt. So we are the first government in Punjab in the last 20 years that has actually started to pay off the debt that has been run over by these other parties in Punjab. So it is a very big historic moment for Punjab.
Akshay,
that despite giving the freebie of free power, we are actually reducing the debt burden on Punjab.
no, you're not right. That's not right. I don't agree with you.
No,
I don't agree with
this
you.
This is a fact. This is a matter of
No,
fact.
I disagree. Your facts are wrong.
We have reduced the
Your
debt
facts
burden
are
of
wrong.
Punjab by 5,000
No, you
crore
haven't.
rupees in just the last 3 months.
No, can I counter with one
No,
line? One line counter to you. One line counter to you. See, Akshay, nothing against you, but let me tell you, you're wrong. Punjab is expected to be the worstest state in the country in terms of the debt to GSDP ratio. You have used 10,000 crores already in loan waivers. You tell me, how will you implement these schemes, at some point? Please don't believe in your own logic. You have announced 300 units free electricity despite the 45% debt to GSDP ratio by 2027. I'm asking you, how will you get the money? How will you afford it?
I'm trying to tell you, Arnab, that in the 3 months that we have been in power, because of our honest governance, we have improved our excise revenue, we have improved our GST revenue.
Arnab.
The money and the coffers of Punjab government for the first time are actually increasing instead of decreasing. It is the first time in the last 20 years. That's what I'm trying to tell
Arnab.
you. It is not as if the problems that have been created
Counters
by
on the
these other
debate.
parties in Punjab are going to go away overnight. No, that's not going to happen.
Arnab, counter.
But it doesn't mean that the economic despair and the
counter.
desperate situation
Okay,
that people
Arnab,
are in
counter.
I'll allow one
has to
counter.
be forgotten. We are not, the Aam
Arnab,
Aadmi Party was
quick
voted
counter.
to power on the
A quick
promise of
rebuttal.
free electricity. Of course, we are going to provide
Arnab,
free
may I
electricity,
come
and
in for a
nobody can
quick
stop us
rebuttal?
from doing that. But tell me
Arnab-
something, Arnab. Why won't you question
Arnab,
the
may I
10 lakh
come in
crore
for a quick
rupees that are being
rebuttal?
waived off by the BJP government?
Arnab,
Is that
now
not
this
a
is becoming
drain on the
like one of
country's
those
resources? Is that
long-streaming
not a drain on the
YouTube
country's
ads.
taxpayers' resources?
Arnab, may I come in
Mr.
for a quick
Shehzad
rebuttal?
Poonawala should answer this question. Who has he benefited? Who has the BJP
Arnab, may I come in
benefited
for a
from
quick rebuttal
providing
because
these
it can't be
10
like
lakh
an
crore
ad
rupees of,
that they put out.
Loan waivers.
Can I please come in, Arnab?
Yeah, please answer the question, Mr. Poonawala.
Can I
has
come in,
the
Arnab?
benefit?
Thanks. No, thank you. Thank you, Mr. Marathe. Thank you for your indulgence. Thank you. Arnab,
Now,
if
have you
Punjab
given
was being
10 lakh
managed in such
rupees
a
of
great
loan
way,
waivers? One minute,
just
one minute.
recently,
One minute. No, we need to settle this.
Yeah.
We can't, no. You are accused by
Yes.
both Ghanshyam Tiwari as well as Akshay Marathe on the program right now that you are waiving off, if I'm not mistaken, the number both Ghanshyam and Akshay are using, 10 lakh crore of loan waivers for your friends. For your friends. That is what they have said. They have used that to justify every single quote unquote freebie. You need to counter that, Mr. Shehzad Poonawala. They've mentioned it 4 times in the last 15 minutes.
So I'm beginning with that and then I'll go into the other part.
Yeah, no, you begin with that and let them respond to it.
I'll counter with that. First, here is, yes, I'm beginning with that. This is the printed report. 8.6 lakh crores have been recovered in the last 8 years of bad loans. In fact, the next report I'm quoting is that the gross NPAs is at 5.9%, which is the lowest in the last 6 years. These are hard facts. If I'm lying, please counter me right now on these facts. Secondly, if Punjab has been well managed, PGI hospital just stopped giving free treatment to the poor because the Punjab government could not pay 16 crore rupees to the hospital. Thirdly, please tell me, dear Mr. Marathe, forget running India and Punjab, you can't even run DJB. Here is the CAG report which you tabled late, and that CAG report says that 7 companies of Delhi suffered a loss of 31,700 crores, the state government companies. Of that, the DJB suffered a loss of 28,000 crores, and in the last 5 years you have not been able to pay a single rupee of loan DJP got back to the loan giver. So you have not even been able to manage the finances of DJB, and you are talking about honest politics. The 4 CAG reports that exposed your dishonesty were not tabled by your government till 5th of July.
No, but have you waived off 10 lakh crore rupees of loans? Have you waived off debt of 10 lakh crore rupees of your quote-unquote friends? Here's your opportunity. You prove him wrong. You prove him wrong.
No.
I am quoting Kejriwal. You prove him wrong.
We have recovered 8.6 lakh crores.
No, did you write off loans?
8.6 lakh crores.
No, not your recovery.
Times.
Did you write off loans or waive off loans?
We have not given off, like Mr. Kejriwal said, that we have not done any loan mafia of 10 lakh crores. In fact, all the loans given by the Congress party to Vijay Mallya, Choksi's and others, 80% of those have also been recovered, because today the ED is acting as a loan recovery agent, not as a loan giving agent like the likes of Chidambaram and Manmohan Singh, who gave the loans and then helped the likes of Nirav Modi through Abhay Tipse and others to escape. So today we are recovering the loans, not giving the loans. That is the fundamental difference.
No, but you're not really challenging him here, right? You could have asked Akshay Marathe or Ghanshyam, tell me, who are you talking about? Ask him, which corporate have we written off for?
Can I respond?
I'll give you 1 minute to respond.
I don't know if Mr. Ghanshyam Tiwari is talking about Anil Ambani or the Saharas, whom Mulayam Singh Yadav is very close to.
Oh, right, to Ghanshyam Tiwari is responding right now. Ghanshyam. No, one thing. He responds to Ghanshyam.
He's talking about.
No, let me respond. In the parliament.
Allow me, Akshay.
2 versus 2, ladies and gentlemen. Ghanshyam.
Akshay, please. Allow me. Rajya Sabha Unstart question number 1832, answered on 2nd August. Title: Loans written off. The question to Minister of Finance was the total worth of bad loans written off by commercial banks for the last 5 years, year-wise, and the total comes to be near 10 lakh crore. That's the answer given by Dr. Bhagwat Karad, Minister of State in the Ministry of Finance. The next, the total bad loans written off by public sector banks during this period. The total number of willful bank defaulters for the last 5 years, list of top 25 defaulters and the amount involved in each case, and the total worth of written off loans that have been recovered during this period, bank-wise and year-wise. I welcome every one of your viewers to look at this question answered in the parliament by the BJP government.
Shehzad, quickly.
That fairly.
No, Shehzad, quickly.
Shehzad, quickly.
Quickly, Shehzad.
And now they are denying.
Okay, I hear you now, Shehzad.
Arnab, a loan being written off does not mean that the loan has been given as a freebie and has been allowed to be gone unpaid. In fact, those loans are being recovered, and therefore 8.6 lakh crores have been recovered.
Akshay, no, 1 minute, Akshay.
Does not mean that those loans have been given as a benefit or a gift. That even you know, and that even Ghanshyam Tiwari knows, and therefore I ask Ghanshyam Tiwari, please remove the statistics or the facts of how many loans were written off.
Okay, Akshay, before I move to the next debate, Akshay.
These are being recovered.
Okay, I want to ask Shehzad, if the loans have been written off, give us a date by when they will be recovered. That will answer the questions of the people of India. We are looking for the recovery of the loans that you have given to your friends.
You can't
so if you are saying they are going to be recovered in the future, tell us a date.
My question to you is,
tell us a date, when are they going to be recovered?
Mr. Marathe, you can't get
when are you going to give me a date? Shehzad Poonawalla, give me a date. Give me a date. When are you going to recover the loans?
I asked you a question at the beginning.
Give me a date.
Mr. Marathe, let's have a debate which is civil. Let's have a civil debate. Let's have a civil debate.
Give us a date.
Let's have a civil debate. Mr. Marathe, I heard you out. I have a question to ask you. Mr. Marathe, I am a citizen of Delhi. I'm asking a question. You say you provide 1 second. 1 second, sir. Why don't you listen? Why don't you listen?
Tell us when are you going to recover the loans?
Why don't you listen?
Why don't you tell us when you are going to recover the loans?
Okay, now listen. Now
10 lakh crore rupees.
Yes, I'm telling you everything. I'm telling you everything. Now listen. You said we are getting free education. Please tell me the 5 new schools you started in Delhi in the last 7 years.
recover 10
Forget
lakh crore
500,
rupees of
5.
my money. Tell me when are you going to recover?
Arey bhai, you tell me where the free education is being given.
Tell me
Please
when
tell
you're
me.
going to recover
Okay.
10 lakh crore rupees that
I have
the
shown you.
Okay. But having said
Now you
that,
tell me where's the free
while this is a fantastic and absolutely fascinating debate, let me tell you, Mr. Akshay Marathe, whatever the loans which are being written off or waived is no justification for taking us down the path of Sri Lanka, Venezuela, or Greece. And you need to de-link these two issues.
Who is taking us down?
No,
that
but you
path?
need
By
to
giving
de-link
these
through.
loan
You know,
waivers?
Sri Lanka
giving
suffered.
these
No,
loan
one
waivers, are we
minute.
not doing
Akshay. Sri Lanka suffered through the worst debt crisis where the fiscal deficit stood at nearly 11% after the previous dispensation was offering freebies. You know what was happening under Chavez in Venezuela. We don't want to be Greece.